I'm Michaela Randall, the Senior Partnership Manager at Ad Valorem. My role within Ad Valorem is to work with business owners, consultants and accountants, talking all things partnerships and where we can collaborate. Today we're talking with Nikki and Nigel, MDs of Ad Valorem, about our partnership days that we host and how you can get involved. Okay, so we're going to kick off. What led us to do the partnership days? I'd love to know what was the idea behind it and take it from there.
Well, I think it stemmed really from looking at outside the industry and looking back at how we have evolved as a business. And I think the big turning point for our business was in 2008. We'd been in business for about 7 years and quite honestly weren't making any money, weren't enjoying it really. And I can distinctly remember this conversation where we sat and thought, actually, shall we just go back to doing our old jobs because this isn't much fun? And a flyer came across my desk, which was an AVN, if anyone knows the AVN network. And I think it was something along the lines of how to build a £2 million practice. And I think at that point we were...
That'd be nice.
Yeah. I said to Nigel, look, let's go to London for the day. What's the worst that can happen? We'll go shopping if you get bored.
Oh, that'd be nice.
And that was the worst thing that could happen.
But it was a turning point, wasn't it?
It was,
Nigel?
yeah.
It was like literally a light bulb moment because we went there for the day and listened to Steve Pipe talking.
I think, you're right. I mean, and it's one of those things because I'd never really been, particularly in those days, it sounds like it was many, many years ago. It was, I suppose. But, accountants then didn't really speak, didn't really collaborate.
Yeah.
It was almost seen as a sign of weakness.
Okay.
And for us to actually be in a room with a group of like-minded, progressive accountants who weren't intimidated by talking about what they were doing and what was working and what wasn't working, it became very collaborative.
Were they all in London, or was it?
It was in London, but the whole point of the day was centering around what's called the E-Myth. So it's Michael Gerber wrote a book called the E-Myth, and this is what Steve Pipe was talking about, and it was about how if you weren't working on your business as well as in your business, then you'd be missing out on you were basically a glorified employee.
Okay.
And therefore, to make your business truly scalable, you needed to take yourself out of it and as much as possible, get your business to run without you, which for most accountants, was an alien concept at the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically it's what you do in business.
Yeah.
But, as professionals, it was quite a hard thing for people to be able to process.
Was it quite people-orientated, the presentation? Because systems were different then and everything was different, right?
I'll tell you what they got us to do,
now.
and I think this is what we've tried to do in the accounting partner days that we now run, is to take a step back. So, we were out of the office for the day. We were looking at, they got us to write down on a bit of paper.
How big was the office? What was the staff that we had
Well,
then?
we were 600 grand turnover, so 10
and
staff.
how many? 10 staff.
10 staff, something like that.
Before cloud, of course.
Yeah,
before
that was the thing with the
cloud,
systems. That's what I was thinking about. What was the message? Was it people?
The message was taking your client bank. What else do you think you could deliver to? It wasn't what you could deliver. What else does your client need?
Right.
And therefore, when you sit and think, well, what does my client need? We had a whole list of things that our clients as small business owners and ourselves, what we needed.
Yeah.
But we couldn't deliver all those things. So it made us realise that actually what we were doing was just delivering what we could physically deliver. And what that session did was make us take a step back and think, goodness me, if we could do more, provide more services,
Right. Yeah.
we don't need to do it. We can get other people to do it.
Yeah.
And that was the turning point, wasn't it?
And it's interesting because, I mean, again, I'm probably slow to the party on it because I sat there and thought, well, that's all I did when I was in industry. I worked in industry in a senior position.
Yeah.
And by no means, I just surrounded myself by people that were much cleverer than me, which wasn't very difficult. But, there was, if you get a question, you can't, when you're in industry, you can't just say, well, I don't know what the answer is, so we're not going to do anything.
Well, when I first joined, you said it's never a no, it's always a we'll find it out, and that's what...
And that's absolutely it. There's a lot of very highly qualified professionals that are there to work alongside you.
Yeah.
And I think that was the first thing that day really helped us to actually break down and think, actually, yeah, we're not thinking about this properly. And I think moving onwards as well, we progressed from that. And one of the questions you asked earlier, accountants were all over the country and Ireland. So, it wasn't just London centric. It was in London, but it was all over the country, which was great. Many of whom, through talking to them, had specialisms, which later we were able to actually offer to our clients.
Because again, was that popular at the time? Were there different, or was it just core bread and butter compliance?
Compliance is cool.
Yeah.
That's what we do. Well, actually, everybody was saying
drum.
advisory. And even then, going back, and it's a bit of a bugbear for me. Advisory is the future. Advisory is a future, but you also have to define what advisory is.
Yeah.
Because it's so vast. And I think what one firm thinks, well, it's advisory, we'd look at it, well, actually, there's probably more compliance than advisory, however you badging it up. But I think that what it enabled us to do was have the confidence to be able to have people at the end of the phone that we could speak to and share our experiences.
And that, I think, is so important, isn't it? And I think sparking those kind of conversations, we see it now. We go to a lot of trade shows, we go to Accountex, you guys present, and we talk to people. We're probably quite unique in the sense that we don't mind having a chat really quickly with people, and we'll find a common ground. And some find that really difficult. Did you feel that in the room? No. Was there people that were holding off, were?
Well, it's difficult to remember that because, I think we've collaborated with so many hundreds of accountants since, literally.
Yeah.
But I think the next step we took after that session was we went away, we took ourselves out of the office for the day.
Yeah.
Because we were going to work on the business, not in the business. Yeah. And it was, again, a very useful thing to look at and ask yourself, what do clients actually want rather than what do they need? Compliance is what they need. They have, we're keeping them legal, but what they actually want is to pay the least amount of tax that they can legally do. Yeah. So therefore we thought we need to invest heavily into providing tax advice. And at that time we'd been using self-employed consultants, but again, you're quite limited when you do that because that's one person, and if they're busy, they might take a bit of time to come back to you. So that was what we decided, and obviously R&D was one of those things that we were naturally very good at because we're quite innovative ourselves. And we started looking at that as a means of, well, why don't we offer that to other accountants that can't offer that because it's very specialist.
Yeah.
We decided to invest in that. Yeah. And
it's
the way that investment,
the
way that investment could pay back was to be helping other accountants do that as well.
I think it straddles two areas because we talk about what they want. Of course, they want to save tax, but also they want good, solid advice from their accountant.
Yeah.
And that could be commercial advice as well. And I think from our perspective, that's leaning on our own experiences, which can make you vulnerable, or leave you open to being vulnerable. And it's getting over that hurdle. And we then, in subsequent years, we joined 2020. We did managing partner focus groups where we were in that room. Initially, we were the smaller firm,
right?
So we were just listening to, founders of much bigger practices that we aspired to, who equally were there able to say, well, we did wealth management really well. Yeah, great. Well, we're rubbish. How did you do that? But it's interesting because when you actually, it doesn't matter the size of the firm. The thing that we've found, the thing we find with our partner days as well, which is you can pretty much streamline the headaches that you have as a practice. Yeah. It's going to be staff. Yeah. It's going to be other partners. It's going to be pricing. Yeah. It's going to be clients. And you can guarantee really that they're the conversations.
Technology.
Technology investment. That's a latter thing now, of course, relatively. And people are at different stages of their journey. Yeah. So I think that we grew immensely we developed as people. We developed the business around that format. Yeah. I think that what we're looking to do is a similar thing. Yeah. Where at the moment, because of our investment, the size of the practice, the disciplines we have, we're able to work alongside other smaller practices that we've got empathy with because that's where we were. That's where we were. Done that, to actually help them develop and grow the business to the business they want it to be. And I think that's the important thing to bear in mind. not everybody wants to have a 100-person business.
No.
And that's, and there's nothing wrong with having a 5-person business if that ticks all the boxes.
Yeah.
But the problems are still the same.
Yeah, and I think with partnership days, it'd be good to get under the bonnet a little bit more about what they cover off. I mean, you broadly said a couple of the agendas and topics that we do, but I mean, in terms of the partnership days, they've been going for a little while with different cohorts, and it's really
Brilliant.
exciting
Love
to
it.
have new people.
Absolutely love it.
I always feel like I'm inviting people into a party, and you want everyone to have fun, you want everyone to get on. But so the partnership days, like we've been doing them for a little while now, and they've been really great and really well received. But obviously they sparked from your earlier journey, your earlier light bulb moments in a room. What would people expect from a partnership day? What runs? How does it kind of play out a little bit for someone who was to get involved and join in?
I think the first thing we do is try and set the scene. So we have a meal the night before, where everybody gets to introduce themselves in an informal setting. So we've got a lovely local pub that we go to, and the purpose of that is to really lay down what the issues are for that particular practice, because and I know, Michaela, you do a really good job of getting different mix and different people from different locations, so we don't have people crossing over in locations.
Yeah, I think that's important. I think for us to make sure that people don't feel guarded, and as much as people are up for collaborating, you want people to feel that they've got their own area still, and they're still got that control element. I think that's really important.
But I think when you've got, quite often it's sole practitioners or one or two partner firms, which we've had. I think they've all said, that what they get from it is not just what we say; it's also them talking between themselves. So the dinner the night before is that breaking that ice, so that the next day we have our agenda, which usually is sort of talking initially about some of the challenges that are current. I know we've done updates on technical tax and R&D issues. My thing is the people part. I love that. Me and you are like all bouncing when that happens. Because actually, ultimately, we are in a people industry.
Yeah.
It's about numbers, but it's really, really about people and how you can get the best from teams.
Yeah. And I think that's often forgotten when we are coming into the partnership days, and actually that can be the most liveliest conversation in the room, because there's so many pain points, and there can be some good and some bad in between that, and then it talks about another topic when we're talking about staff and accountability, and I know you particularly like some of the topics we get under when we're talking.
I think so. I think the big thing, it's a bit of a band-aid thing where the ego's left at the door. I think that's really important, and that vulnerable side of running a business is very much important to be shared, for us to share, and for people around the table to be open to share. So I think that is a really important bit. I think for me, the people side, it's great, but for me, it's I love the business side of it. When we're talking about pricing, or we're challenging each other in a nice way, not in a confrontational way. And the important thing you've got here is that everybody around the room is actually doing what they're saying. Because I know that you do go to some of the events, and perhaps what's being told on stage is not always what's going on behind the scenes. But I think you've got real experience, the good stuff and the bad stuff, and I think that's where people it shortcuts. And I think sometimes it's good, for people to. I mean, as I say, we get asked to do stuff, which is wonderful, and we love doing it. But I think sometimes you see people on stage and think, they must get everything right. And I think it's actually really good to say, no, guys, we don't get it right.
That's what I was about to say. How honest are you in these days? Are you brutally?
Absolutely brutally honest.
And I think obviously we've, one of the big things when you're running a practice is what's the end game. When we talk about succession, which is a big thing, because what is it's goal setting, it's where do you want to get yourself to, what does the exit going to be looking like? Do you want to do acquisitions? We've done acquisitions. We've been part of an acquisition the other way. So we again talk honestly about those topics as well.
So there's a meal, there's a day, there's a bit of therapy in between, there's a bit of lunch, there's wine the night before. Sounds a great party.
It's great, and I think everybody goes away. I think the nice thing is we're building a network as well.
I think that's what's been good, isn't it? Where people outside of our conversations in a
Absolutely.
room. They're having conversations themselves. They're seeing each other at events, and in terms of the invite, like who's coming in the door, scale of practice, the audience that we've got that join us.
To be honest with you, I mean, I hate to stereotype that. I think anybody that's got an open mind,
Yeah.
and that could be a 10-partner practice or a 2-partner practice or a sole practitioner
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Typically, I would say 1 to 3 partners.
Yeah.
And we do try to have everybody sort of a similar size around the table. But yeah, for us, it's about coming with an open mind.
Yeah. And different points in their journey as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
indeed.
think it doesn't matter if they're looking to exit or they're looking to grow for another means, or whether they're just wanting to be a part of something different. I think
I think when you, in honesty as well, you're a big advocate of the ACCA. You do a lot of work with the ACCA, and I think part of from where we are in life now, it's actually lovely to be able to help and support where we can. The broader profession.
I'm really passionate about it. I mean, there's something at the moment which really concerns me, and I think I know the ACCA are doing so. I'm sure the OCAW are as well. But there's a lot of people leaving the profession.
Right. Okay.
Or leaving practice for a variety of reasons. And ironically, it's probably the most exciting time to be an accountant. I know that sounds like
Exciting.
it sounds like an oxymoron, but the reality is, with the advent of technology, it means that you can bring real value. You can really make a difference to people's lives, and it's a really good time. So, a really good time to actually come into practice.
Yeah.
And I think I see it as, if you like, my responsibility to
paying forward, isn't it?
Paying forward to actually say, look, guys. This is the way the practice is going. It's very different to how it used to be when I started. Opportunities are there. Obviously, technology is making a lot of the mundane work go away, so that you can actually really, really contribute and develop. So, yeah, I'm. As I say, it's hopefully encouraging. It's really tough running a business.
Yeah.
As running whether you're a 1-partner, a 3-partner, or whatever that may be.
I think you've said before in our team meetings, it's lonely. It can be really lonely.
Yeah, there's full of self-doubt.
Yeah.
And and I think that is something that as accountants we do tend to overanalyze, overthink it, because that's what we do.
That's in the nature, isn't it?
And sometimes it's good to actually be in a room and somebody say, maybe a bigger practice, maybe us, maybe whatever, saying, we have those same self-doubts.
Yeah, I think it's been really healthy when we have had those roundtable conversations where someone's gone, this is a real bugbear for me, and someone gone, me too, and then someone gone, it was for me last year and this is what I did. And I feel that those are really lovely chats to have where people can feel really letting their guard down and have a little bit of an emotional chat. We've had in times where people have gone in, and what has been like one of the most rewarding things that you guys have had, like either feedback or from a partner that have gone, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have done this. And have you
I think honestly, we've been a bit mind blown by it, because we didn't really know when we first started doing these.
No.
We sort of thought, well, we've been to this kind of thing and found it really useful. Perhaps we could roll it out to a wider audience. But I think some of the comments you've had have just been make it all worthwhile for me.
Yeah.
Because if we can in any way support people, we're lucky we've got each other. And we've had the ups and downs together.
Yeah.
If you haven't got that, then
and that's hard to kind of have that bounce all the time. And I'm sure there's been moments, more than one probably, where you've gone, actually no, that's not the way to do it, or we're going to do it. And
I think as you go through stages of growth, you get these periods of stress.
Chucked in with the economy, chucked in with your client bank.
And, we're at the mercy of the government, what the government decides to an extent. But when you're going for growth, which is what we've done, we wanted to get a scalable practice.
Yeah.
It comes with challenge at different points. Because you want growth, but how much growth do you want?
Yeah.
Because
and then
it
becomes
painful. Is it sustainable?
Is that scalable? I know that's a hot topic for you on these partnership
risk.
days.
How much? What's your risk appetite?
Yeah.
So I just think it helps us too.
Yeah.
Because I think we're very mindful that however big we get, our market is still the same. We're still dealing with SMEs, and we don't want to lose that focus. And I think these partner days help us do that as well.
And I think one thing we're really passionate about is making sure everyone has airtime. Everyone has an opportunity, whether it's talking about a problem or a frustration or a win. I think one of the best things out of the day is when we get things back as well. We get learns, we get takeaways. And I think for me, we've had some wonderful feedback. It has been lovely to read and to hear the comments and have chats with the partners. And I talk with them all the time for different reasons. And it's always been really healthy to have those really lovely conversations. But some of the takeaways that people have said, that it's really changed their approach to their business.
Yeah.
We had business owners be able to reduce their time because they were able to do something that was scalable and to put autonomy to someone else in the business. We've had people grow their practice through acquisitions and decisions that were on the table until they'd... I'm not saying it was all down to the partnership days. That would be very silly to say that, but it certainly played a part in
I think
their
it helps,
decision making.
doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It made them think, and things that they were perhaps on the fence about, it made their gut feel stronger.
Yeah.
And I think, Nikki, you always talk about gut feel in business.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that we always want to harness, those kind of good thoughts and decisions to kind of move the conversation.
Don't get me wrong here. We learn stuff as well.
Oh,
we don't know everything.
Yeah, no.
So so it's a two-way communication.
Yeah.
We're not sitting there preaching.
No.
We're actually learning as well. And the stuff that's come up, we thought, actually, that's a really good idea.
I like some of the debates.
I love
There's one of the partners in particular. Well, there's a few actually.
I think if he's listening, he'll know who he
there's
is.
a few when they get on conversations. I love that. I love watching it unfold because there is no right and wrong. And thankfully, in the room, everyone is awesome. Everyone is up for a chat. Everyone is wanting to learn and get together. And so far, the parties have been pretty good fun.
Yeah, and I say, as you mentioned earlier, I think when we go to events and you see people, and it's just that that feeling that actually we're helping each other.
We're a tribe.
It's a tribe.
Yeah.
It's a zero feel.
Yeah, no. It's
They always talk about tribes, and that's, I guess, what we're trying to do. What don't think we try to do it, but that's what happens.
That's what you want to do. So how do people get involved? How can people be part of a partnership day? What do they need to do?
Right.
Give you a call.
Yeah.
Give
Call
Michaela a call.
Yeah.
And hit subscribe as well, which
Yeah.
would be great. And but yeah, please reach out to us, and we'd love to have a chat.
Yeah, we're planning one for Manchester. We're looking to try and tag something in at the
Be
end of
good.
Accountex North.
Yeah, first
so-
North. One up
Yeah,
north.
which Ad Valorem tour.
It was saved because we have people come from Newcastle and
Yeah,
Wales,
gosh.
and all over the country. So
The mileage that some do.
I think it's about time we made the effort to go
Yeah.
the other way. So
There's one or two spots still available. So by all means, get in touch. We'd be happy to have you around the table having a chat. It'd be great.
brilliant.
Thanks a lot, Michaela.
Yeah,
Thanks.
thank you.